Welcome back to Spore and Sprout. In this video, I'm testing one of my syringes of blue oyster mushroom liquid culture that I created over 4 years ago. The syringe still has my old label and logo on it, and I kept it all this time so that I could test it for this very reason. So to start off, I just grabbed a sterilized nutrient agar plate from a stack that I made a while ago, and I'm putting a few drops of the liquid culture onto the agar plate. And then I recap the syringe so that I can save it and test it again in about 5 years. I wrap the agar plate in parafilm and allow it to grow on a shelf at 75 degrees Fahrenheit for a few days. After a few days, I can see that the plate is perfectly clean and the mycelium is still healthy after all this time. After about another week of growing, there's enough mycelium now to start the cultivation process. I use a paper towel soaked in alcohol to clean the agar plate and the jar of grain. Then I use a sterilized scalpel to cut the agar plate into multiple pieces. All of the pieces are then added to the sterilized jar of rye grain. I like to use a lot of agar wedges to inoculate the jar of grain so that there is many inoculation points, which will help speed up the colonization process. The modified lid is reattached to the jar and then it is shaken to distribute the pieces of agar. After about 10 to 14 days of growing at 75 degrees Fahrenheit, the mushroom mycelium has completely colonized the jar of grain. You can tell that the mycelium is super healthy and aggressive by the way it crawls up the side of the glass. I use a paper towel soaked in alcohol to wipe down the grain jar, and I also wipe down a 5-pound bag of sterilized hardwood fuel pellet substrate. The jar of grain spawn was then broken up and then added to the bag of substrate. The bag is massaged to distribute the colonized grain and increase the amount of inoculation points. After all of the grain spawn has been mixed in with the substrate, an impulse sealer is used to seal the top of the filter patch bag. After the bag of substrate was sealed, I set it on a shelf in a room that was around 75 degrees Fahrenheit and left it there for the next 2 to 4 weeks while it grew. After about 3 weeks, the substrate was fully colonized, so I set it inside of my shotgun fruiting chamber to fruit. I left on a 7-day road trip from Michigan to Texas to see the total solar eclipse, and when I got home, I was super surprised to see this huge cluster of mushrooms growing on top of the substrate. It is super awesome to know that some of my liquid culture syringes can still be good even after 4 years. Thank you all for watching. If you've ever tested some of your liquid culture syringes after many years, leave a comment down below and let us know. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos just like this one.